morning, everybody. Thank you, Amox, especially Jagruti, for this opportunity. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just give you a quick overview of how we manage a baby that presents with increased nuchal translucency. Are they playing? Yeah. Okay, so NT, it is the most robust marker for trisomy 21. That's what all of us know. The crucial thing about measuring NT is it has to be measured appropriately. We have to follow strict criteria, and a person needs to be appropriately trained to be able to measure the NT. And of course, we need to have patience, willingness, and we need to give time for baby when we assess nuchal translucency. Now, abnormal or increased NT, there is no fixed measurement as such, because we have to correlate a measured NT with mother's age as well as with the CRL. NT that is more than 99 percentile is by definition defined as an abnormal NT or increased NT. NT which is more than 3 millimeters usually will fall as an NT which is more than 99 percentile. Now, some studies they do use NT more than 95th percentile as a definition for increased NT, but the most important thing is there is no fixed measurement. So, if we have a look at this graph, NT, what I'm trying to say is it has to be correlated with mother's age and CRLs. Let's take an example of an NT of say 2.4 millimeters. So if I have a 20-year-old young mom, and if I'm doing her NT at around say 13 weeks 2 days when the CRL is say around 72 millimeters, a 2.4 millimeter NT would be within normal range for a young girl. But if I'm seeing a mother who is say 39 years old, if I'm seeing her at 11 weeks 2 or 3 days when the CRL is just around 47 millimeters, and if I'm seeing NT of 2.4 millimeters, the same NT, that NT is going to be more than 99 percentile for a mother who is 39 years old. Okay, so we have to correlate the measurement with mother's age and the CRL. Now, around 4% of general population will have babies presenting with NT more than 95th percentile, while NT more than 99 percentile will be seen in around 1% of general population. In our data over the last 7 years, between 2011 to 2018, around almost 8,000 NT scans were done, and 4.4% of people had NT more than 95th percentile, which is similar to other studies. Now, let's see a few examples. I have seen a 38-year-old mother with primary infertility for almost 15 years, spontaneous conception, and comes for an NT scan and has an NT of 4.9 millimeters. I have a young mother who has had previous miscarriage, comes for NT scan, and her baby has got NT of 5.4 millimeters. So what next? Can we reassure parents that the baby is normal? And how much can we reassure a patient who presents with a baby of NT having more than 99 percentile? Now, all of us know that increased NT, yes, has association with chromosomal defect, cardiac defect, structural abnormalities, known associated with sudden intrauterine demise, and of course, few rare genetic syndromes. Now, basically, abnormally increased NT is an abnormality of lymphatic system. So, anything which causes abnormal drainage of the lymphatic fluid or abnormal accumulation of lymphatic tissue fluid will present with increased NT. Now, if the NT is normal, if it is less than 95th percentile, yes, the outcome of having a healthy baby is excellent. Almost 97% of babies will be fine. If the NT is borderline, say if it is between 95th to 99th percentile, still 93% of babies are going to be fine. The risk of major structural defects or chromosomal defects is around 3 to 4%. While NT that is more than 99 percentile, when we call it as an increased NT, as the NT measurement increases, yes, the chances of abnormal outcome increases, but yet the healthy outcome is still possible even if the NT is more than 99 percentile. Now, chromosomal abnormality, yes, can be diagnosed if we do CVS or amniocentesis. What about the structural and cardiac defects? They can be picked up by a thorough first and second trimester anomaly scan, as well as first and second trimester echocardiography. Can we predict fetal death or sudden intrauterine demise? I don't know. I mean, of course, a baby that presents with increased NT, the patient is going to need serial follow-up. to assess overall fetal well-being when all the investigations come back as normal, especially the diagnostic ones. And can we pick up rare genetic syndromes? Again, I don't know. We may have to look for some subtle signs which the baby may present when we are following up the baby by serial ultrasound scans. So management of a patient with increased NT, it has to be a stepwise management, and of course counseling at each and every step is crucial, and we have to involve geneticist as well as the obstetrician needs to be involved in counseling such patient along with the fetal medicine person. So step 1 is look for additional markers. So look for absent nasal bone, abnormal ductus venosus waveform, and tricuspid regurgitation, because if the increased NT is associated with additional markers, then the risk of cardiac defect would increase along with the risk of chromosome abnormality. The second step is look for obvious structural defects such as diaphragmatic hernia, yes, can be picked up in the first trimester, holoprosencephaly, omphalocele, megacystis, this cannot be missed in the first trimester, and of course cystic hygroma. Increased NT, yes, we have to do basic assessment of the heart in first trimester, which is possible. We may have to use a transvaginal probe to assess baby's heart, but basic cardiac assessment is crucial when the baby presents with increased NT, and we may be able to pick up AVST, hypoplastic right heart or hypoplastic left heart even in the first trimester if we look at the heart properly. So increased NT in the first trimester with structural defect, yes, the prognosis is going to be guarded or poor, but it is going to help us counseling the patient appropriately. We may have to discuss option of termination of pregnancy depending upon the structural defect that the baby is presented. But post-termination, workup on the baby is extremely important because we need to find out the reason. We need to find out the recurrence risk, and yes, how we are going to manage the patient's pregnancy in the future pregnancy, because the management will depend. So just termination with gross structural abnormality with increased NT doesn't mean that the patient needs to be discharged. We need to work upon that fetus. And of course, we are going to help parents take appropriate decision when we do a thorough first trimester scan. Now, let's have a baby with NT between 95th to 99th percentile, but baby has no other markers, no structural defect in the first trimester, and say the NT based risk is borderline, if it is say between 1 in 251 to 1 in 999. So yes, counsel the patient. We can offer combined test, or nowadays because NIPS is available, perhaps we may offer NIPS to this patient, but option of diagnostic test needs to be again discussed. So this is where the counseling comes. So if we do a combined test on a borderline result based on NT, it can be a low risk or high risk. If it is low risk, do early anomaly scan at 16 to 17 weeks. If it is normal, do a detailed scan 19 to 20 weeks, fetal echo and serial growth scans. If early anomaly scan is abnormal, yes, we offer karyotype. If combined test is high risk, of course the karyotype will be discussed and offered to the patient. Or NIPS, I'll come to that briefly later on. If karyotype is normal, then yes, do serial follow-up by detailed anomaly scan and echo. If karyotype is abnormal, we know the answer, and if all the scans are normal, then yes, perhaps we'll be able to reassure this couple. So what we look for in the second trimester early anomaly scan, the significant markers would be hypoplastic nasal bone, nuchal edema, prenasal edema, and ARSA. The option of NIPT, it is important to explain to the patient that it is a screening test and not a diagnostic test. It has cost implications. We need to offer diagnostic test if NIPS is positive, and the patient needs to understand that. And with NIPS, there is around 5% sample recall rate as well. So all of these things need to be discussed with the patient. Now NT that is more than 99th percentile, yes, the risk of chromosome abnormality will go up as the NT measurement goes up, but normal outcome is still possible. So if we take a NT of 4.5 to 5.4 millimeters, 50% of the babies are still going to be fine, okay. So if NT is more than 99th percentile, we need to follow similar steps. We look for additional markers, look for structural defect, including cardiac defects, but with that NT, I will not offer NIPS, I will be inclined to offer diagnostic test directly. So the diagnostic tests available are CVS or amniocentesis. The tests which we do are either FISH, karyotype or microarray, because this has become available now. So increased NT nowadays, since last one or 2 years, we've been offering FISH and microarray to this couple instead of karyotype, because we may be able to pick up few micro deletions and macro deletions, duplications which may not be picked up in full karyotype. So if the direct testing is positive, yes, we know the answer, the patient would choose the termination of pregnancy. But if the karyotype is normal, what do? Again, do a stepwise follow-up. Early anomaly scan, look for soft markers, structural defect, cardiac evaluation. If that is normal, 19 to 20 weeks scan, structural defect and cardiac evaluation, and again further serial follow-up of this baby. We may have to look for some subtle markers of rare metabolic or genetic syndromes. So what else do we look for when we are assessing the baby? Of course, we are going to do a complete head-to-toe survey of the baby. Look for evolution into nuchal edema or head drops and subtle markers such as unexplained polyhydramnios, mild pyelectasis, nuchal edema and pericardial effusion. So these are some subtle markers of genetic syndromes when the karyotype of a baby with increased NT is found to be normal. Okay? And if we see that the baby has got significant nuchal fold thickness or nuchal edema, then the chance of evolution into head drops or perinatal death or a live birth with genetic syndrome is increased. It comes to around 10 to 20%. And these babies are at a risk of neurodevelopmental delay to the extent of 5 to 10%. Now, the role of microarray, yes, nowadays it has become available because with microarray, around 5% of babies with increased NT with no structural abnormality and normal karyotype will have abnormal microarray analysis. While if there is a structural abnormality with normal karyotype in a baby with increased NT, the risk of abnormal microarray result is almost 10%. And what we are doing is we are offering a low resolution microarray because then the number of VOUS, which is the variance of unknown significance, it goes down if we offer a low resolution microarray. If we offer a high resolution, we perhaps may not be able to interpret the result because of the increased incidence of VOUS. Now, what happens if we have a baby with increased NT, normal karyotype or normal microarray, the baby has got normal anomaly scan, normal echo, what happens to these babies in terms of neurodevelopmental outcome? And there have been innumerable studies which have looked into a long-term outcome of such babies, and what we have found, or what they have found, is the risk of neurodevelopmental delay in such babies with normal karyotype, normal serial scans with increased NT. The risk of neurodevelopmental delay is just around 1 to 6%, and the chance of healthy outcome is excellent. So almost 98% of the babies will have good healthy outcome. So this means if everything is normal in a baby that presents with increased NT, the risk of developing a baby with a serious abnormality or neurodevelopmental delay is similar to that which is found in general population. Okay? So let's see what happened to these patients. A 38-year-old mother who presented with spontaneous conception and NT of 4.9 millimeters. She had normal karyotype, normal scans, and she's got a healthy child who is doing absolutely fine. The young mother who presented with a baby with 5.4 millimeter NT, that is a child who is around 6 years old now, and the child is doing absolutely fine. Okay? So summing up, increased NT, a stepwise analysis is essential. Detailed counseling of the parents is crucial, and we have to get involved obstetrician, fetal medicine specialists as well as geneticists when we counsel such couple. It is important to tell the patient that the baby is going to need serial follow-up. Just doing CVS is not going to be of any help. We have to help the parents take appropriate decision, and it is important to know that a normal outcome is still possible even when the baby presents with NT that is more than 99 percentile. Thank you.